Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start the meeting at 6. Can we please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? Commissioner Tafoya, can you start us out?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to continue with roll call.
Commissioner Camacho? Here. Commissioner Chaides?
Here.
Commissioner De La Rosa? Commissioner Fong?
Here.
Commissioner Martinez? Commissioner Tafoya?
Present.
Chair Gutierrez Garcia?
Here. Okay, now to the introduction of our new and promoted staff.
So, Chair and Commissioners, as we do every month, we love to come before you and introduce our new staff. We have a number of staff here today. So, I'm going to do one introduction, then I'll turn it over to the supervisors to do the remaining one. First, I'd like to introduce Devin McCauley, who is our new admin and administrative secretary. And she's going to be the point person. She's the one that's been communicating with you for the last few months. So we're pleased to have her as part of the team. I will just give a quick shout out to Alexis Mejia, who's our assistant city clerk, who's here walking us through the process and making sure Devin's up to speed on running a commission meeting. So thank you, Devin, for your support, and it's a pleasure having you as part of the team. Now I'll go ahead and introduce Ana Ambris. She has an introduction to make as well.
Hello, Chair, Commissioners. My name is Ana Ambris, and I'm the Recreation Park Superintendent for the city. I am so pleased to be here and introduce our new Park Operations Manager, Kevin Brown. Kevin started with us back in September, but it's been a few months. We haven't had a meeting. We're excited to be here. Kevin comes to us from a jurisdiction in the Bay Area. He has extensive experience in park maintenance, park management. He's also a certified arborist, although not with us in that capacity. It's definitely a benefit for the city as a whole. We're really excited to have him with us, and if you see him around, please don't hesitate to say hi to him. We're excited to have him be with us and be part of the city team.
And then if Vivian Salinas could come up, she has an introduction as well.
Manager, and I like to introduce Leslie Hernandez. She is our office tech, and she can be found at the Salinas Recreation Center. She handles our payroll, payables, and she assists at the counter with any questions, phone calls that come in from the public. She's been with us for the past couple of months, and it's been such a pleasure working with her, and so I can't wait to see what is to come as she grows with our team. Thank you.
And then Francis Hebert.
Thank you, Director. Commissioners. So we have quite a substantial list today for the libraries, for the team. A lot of new talent coming in, but I'd like to first highlight a few promotions. So first we have, in alphabetical order, Anastasia DeBoer, who promoted from library clerk to librarian 1 in charge of online resources within the technical services team, and she works out of John Steinbeck. I also like to mention that Cesar Perez, promoted from library technician within the technical services team to librarian 1 for the adult services team. He will be working out of Cesar Chavez Library. And also I'd like to mention that Rachel Safa promoted from librarian 1 within the technical services team to librarian 2 overseeing the El Gabilan branch. Now, in terms of new employees, as I mentioned, a lot of new talent coming in from various backgrounds. So a lot of new people joining the library team. Again, in alphabetical order, we have Karen Holmes, who's started recently with us as a library clerk at the John Steinbeck branch. We also have Manuel Martinez, who has started with us also recently as a library clerk at the El Gabilan branch. We have Anna Sabonia, who's a library clerk at the John Steinbeck Library, and Priscilla Tran as the Administrative Analyst 1 within the administrative team. Her office is at the John Steinbeck Library. And finally, Evie Tremaine as the Librarian 2 overseeing the Cesar Chavez branch. So we'd like to welcome every one of you, and thank you for joining the team. Again, a lot of new talent. We're very happy with that. Thank you.
Welcome and congratulations to the ones that are promoted. Okay. Okay, public comment procedures. If you wish to make a general public comment or comment on a specific agenda item, you are encouraged to attend the City Council meeting in person. Email public comments received have been distributed to the council and will be entered in the record. Public comment time restrictions. Public comment generally are limited to 2 minutes per speaker. I may further the limit time for public comments depending on the agenda schedule. General public comments. We're now open for public comments on items that are not on the agenda and that are in the City of Salinas subject matter jurisdiction. Comments on agenda items should be held until the items are reached. Now we will consent the agenda. The minutes for the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from September 13, 2023?
I have a question on the minutes before we approve them. Who produced the minutes themselves?
I believe these were done by Patricia Mraz previously. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Who was our previous admin secretary?
Can I have a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
minutes?
So moved. I said, so I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 13th. I'll second.
Okay. Can you call for a roll call, please?
Commissioner Camacho,
Yes.
Commissioner Chidas,
Yes.
Commissioner De La Rosa, oh, he's not here, Commissioner Fong,
Yes.
Commissioner Tafoya,
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez Garcia.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Now we go to administrative reports. On the item 24-071, Prevention and Wellness Grant Program Update.
Good evening, Director Lundquist and Library and Community Services Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to report to you on the update for the Prevention and Wellness Grant. My name is Jose Arriola. I'm the Community Safety Administrator. And the division I get to lead is the division of the Community Engagement and Strategic Partnerships, previously known as the Community Safety Division. And it's one of the reasons why this particular grant ended up in our division, our department for administration. And so I want to give you some background on this grant and an update on its implementation at this time. A little background on December 12th, 2021, the council identified the funding for a prevention and intervention program to fund different programs throughout the city related to violence prevention and intervention. On June 14th, so about 6 months later, the council approved a prevention and wellness grant program after much work done by the staff to develop a program based on the funding that would be available. And then later in October, Halloween actually, we were able to release the first request for proposals for this particular grant. I wanted to give some additional background really around the violence prevention movement here in the city of Salinas and let you know that we've been working on violence prevention for a really long time, in particular youth violence prevention through the Community Alliance for Safety and Peace. And under the Community Alliance for Safety and Peace, which is a cross-sector collaborative designed to reduce violence, we've developed comprehensive strategic plans on violence reduction. We've never had an internal funding source to fund the programs identified by the city, by the strategic plan and by CASP. And so this grant program is rather historic in that sense, to have a funding stream where we would identify programs to be funded that aligned with the strategic plan on violence reduction. So I just want to add that to the history and really commend council for making the funding source available for not 1 year, but now for the second year, as we just were able to give out the second set of awards under this grant program. Oops. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much here in the presentation. When we were designing the program, we had to consider a few items. So we knew we had about $300,000 available. We asked ourselves, what sort of funding restrictions should we make? So what things wouldn't we fund with the grant program? What we really stuck to was try to strongly identify what we wanted to fund, and those were prevention and intervention programs. And the word wellness really came in as well under the prevention scope, which is where the grant program gets its name from. And so the council really wanted to support a funding stream that funded programs that improve the well-being as well as prevention efforts for Salinas residents. Out of the $300,000, what would the max award be? We wanted it to be high enough to have an impact, but also low enough that we could award multiple different programs within the $300,000. And so that's how we arrived at the figure we did. And then what would the goals be? And so we did want anybody who applied, and it's in the request for proposals, to align the program that they're seeking funding to align with the comprehensive strategic plan on violence reduction that was created by the Community Alliance for Safety and Peace. Given those parameters, we came up with a max award of $60,000. And as I said, the program and services needed to be identified or linked some way to the comprehensive strategic plan on violence reduction. And it's a requirement that any of these programs serve Salinas residents strictly, because it's their tax money. This is a list of our 2023 grantees. And so the way we rolled out the grant initially was the money was made available at the start of a fiscal year. And as you know, we go from June to July, or July to June with our fiscal year. When the money's awarded, it takes us some time to get a request for proposals out. And so what we did is made the request for proposal time period to be in the fall, and we awarded by the end of December and started a grant period from January to December. Now, that's going to change due to some upcoming changes in fiscal policy. But we'd like to be able to deliver this and have the grant done within a fiscal year. But these, just so you know, so the 2023 grantees mean they ran programming from January through December of 2023. And so the first round just ended, hence the update, and wanted to give you guys some background on what impact the fund had. There were some really interesting programs, and I thought the selection committee did a good job of selecting a variety of different agencies that had impact at different levels of the prevention, intervention, and wellness stage. I think in the wellness area. The Meals on Wheels program was really interesting. It paid for a musician to travel with the delivery of the meals to seniors, which was really cool. And so a traveling musician went and serenaded those that were receiving meals every single month. And that was a unique proposal for sure, and certainly within the wellness space. And providing services to those that need it the most. And that's an intervention strategy. Rancho Cielo, that helped support their wraparound programs. And so for every student that's there, they provide services that are outside of the classroom that ensure that the student has a way to get to school, make sure that they're not dealing with other issues outside of the academic program, and that counselor, so to speak, offers supports they might need through the various resources at Rancho Cielo. Again, this is outside of the classroom to make sure that they're able to stay in the classroom. And this was addressing the high attrition rate they had of student loss over the school year. And really excited to report that their retention rate is in the 90th percentile right now, where before I think they were retaining 1 out of every 2 students that attended. So they've made some huge leaps in student retention through Rancho Cielo, which is really exciting to see. YOCEL, this went for the funding for them went to the purchase of instruments for their particular agency for the students. And they offer free music programs to kids in Salinas, which is really exciting. And they usually do it in the after school hours or during vacations and intersessions. And so that was a big boon for them to be able to replenish some of the instruments that they have lost for their students. The Cesar Chavez Football Academy, it was kind of exciting to see this program get some funding. It actually has its roots in our library program. It actually was created there and then went on to become its own entity and got some great support through this particular program to help fund some of their coaches and their mentors after school. And they do a really good job of providing academic support through participation in their soccer program. Our Harmony at Home program went to help fund counselors in the after-school programs, and their Harmony at Home offers mental health support in just about every single elementary school and now middle and high school in the city of Salinas. And so we have quite a nice network of mental health support at a affordable costs through this nonprofit, and many of our school districts work with them, but don't always provide 100% funding. And so they're always fundraising and seeking ways to supplement the program so that they can keep it available to all of their schools as needed. And the Milpa program was funding a sort of teen to womanhood program and leadership development program for young ladies in Salinas, and so they, I think, funded 2 different cohorts, and it's a multi-month program. It goes deep with each of the participants, and the YWCA funding went to support legal support for those that are victims of domestic violence, to make sure that they have access to on-time legal support to help them with restraining orders and getting their life back on track after such a traumatic experience. And that's a unique service offered by YWCA in our valley, and has always been named in our strategic plan on violence reduction. We know that domestic violence is a root cause of violence in our community, and very difficult to identify and address. So the more services we have out there for those that are victims, the better they are for it. That's a quick rundown of all those different grantees, and they all finished. Happy to report the money is spent, and I think went to some great causes here. And so we were glad to learn that there was funding for another year of this grant, and last year was considered the pilot program, and council went forward approving another $300,000 to fund the grant. We got out the request for proposals a little earlier on October 4th, and were able to notify awardees in December of this past year. And this year's, we have some returning applicants, so the selection committee is made up of city staff and then members of our community that have experience with the network of and the offerings of different prevention and wellness services across Salinas. We had a great group this year, and I think they had a tough job in selecting. We had 24 different applications, 1.25 million in requests for the $300,000. So great demand on the grant itself, and so difficult to select who was going to receive the funding there. And so some of the returning applicants that somehow got awarded again were CCFA, YWCA, Harmony at Home, and YOSAL for mostly similar continuation of their program. New additions were Community Homeless Solutions and California Youth Outreach. And we funded one less program than we did last year because almost everybody got the max award except for 2 agencies this time around. And California Youth Outreach offers really great intervention services. They work inside our juvenile hall and work with students while they're incarcerated and then upon their release to make sure that they're not reoffending and offer them the support to not reoffend. And then Community Homeless Solutions works very closely with a large set of partners to make sure that there's as much services for our homeless community as possible. And so we're proud to add them to this year's list of awardees. And that's my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions and hear any comments.
Any questions to my left? Commissioner Fong?
Thank you. On the grantees for, just as an example, 2024, the percentage of the grant to the total requested, because you said there was like over $1 million in requests. Did we do like a substantial amount of, or like satisfy the requests on these applicants, or do they still have a ways to go? I imagine like say we granted $25,000 for the outreach or say like support, but did we satisfy a whole entire grant request, or did we only do a portion of the requested?
Oh, a good question. So this year, everybody, so there were 7 awards. I think 6 got exactly what they asked for.
Great.
And 1 got slightly less than what they asked for. And that was just an effort to keep them in.
Right.
Because it doesn't always add up to a perfect $300,000.
Right.
Because they all asked for different amounts. And so we spoke with them, and that was Community Homeless Solutions, and they were okay with that, and they're just revising their budget slightly. But I think they got like, I don't know, $8,000 less than what they had asked for.
No, that's great. Thank you. That was my only question.
Yeah.
Don't want to leave anyone out dry.
Right.
Commissioner Tafoya?
Thank you for the presentation. I believe this program really has the potential to improve the community health, reduce crime and violence, and has long-term effects on the community. I just have a question. How were the applicants informed of the funding opportunity?
So we promoted the funding opportunity on our social media. We also utilized our CAST network, the Community Alliance for Safety and Peace. We have a weekly newsletter as well as our own social media site. And we have a lot of partners. Most nonprofits in the area are part of the CAST network. And we asked them to share with their partners as well. How else did we share it? Also in our city manager, while there used to be a city newsletter that goes out, we would promote it through there as well. So those are some of the ways that we promoted it.
I just thought of another question. How was the decision made to allocate $300,000?
So that was a decision made by the city council. How they arrived exactly at that number, I don't recall. I don't know if Director Lundquist does, but I believe they went back and forth on a number. It might have started off a little higher, but there were a lot of demands on the funds that year, and so I think they came out with the best number they could given the different demands.
Perfect, thank you.
Commissioner Chagas? Okay, I have a question. Were those the only nonprofits that applied for the grants, or how many were there?
No, we had 24 applicants this year.
And how about last year?
The year before, we had 18.
And how did you choose the best ones to give the grants?
So we have a rubric. So in the request for proposals that everybody receives as part of their application, it tells them exactly what we're going to be looking at and how we're going to score their application and what categories we're going to score them in. Then we bring in a selection committee, and the selection committee reviews all of them and assigns a score. And we essentially tally all of them, and we rank them, and we essentially assign money starting at the top till we run out in the very next one. And the selection committee doesn't get a chance to sort of see how it shakes out. So there's so many, they're just assigning ranks, and we tabulate it for them. We as staff don't weigh in, it's just a selection committee. So we're impartial, and we just share with them the results to make sure their scores were correct, and that's how we give out the money. So there's not an opportunity to say, well, let's not fund them, let's fund that next one instead. It really just goes by the score you have until we run out of money. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Any more questions, comments?
One question. On the form here, it says that it's a recommended motion, but you don't have to vote on it or make a recommendation. So it says recommended motion on this statute.
So the recommendation is to receive the report?
Okay, so on this staff report form, it says recommended motion. So we're receiving it. Do we need to make a?
We need a motion to receive the report was received and accepted.
Okay, because on this agenda, it says that it's no action required. So.
That was an oversight. Let's get a recommendation based on the staff report. And again, it's just to receive the update.
I'll motion to accept the proposal as recommended.
I'll second. Good eye.
I just kind
Call
of
for roll call,
feel
please.
like a dummy.
Commissioner Camacho?
Yes.
Commissioner Chidas?
Yes.
Commissioner Fong?
Yes.
Commissioner Tafoya?
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez Garcia?
Yes,
Motion passed.
Thank you.
thank you. Commissioners report. Let's go to my right. Commissioner Tafoya?
So it's been a while since we've been here, and I want to highlight some key, important things that I've done since then. So since the last time, I did complain about the ride-along, and I finally got to go on a ride-along. It was very interesting. I think I was out with a police officer for 6 hours. We rode along this area, actually. So we even went to the Steinbeck Library because there was some thing that we had to go and check out there. And that was great. And that's about it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Chidas?
No report.
Thank you. Commissioner Camacho?
Okay, so I got a couple here. One, kudos to the Firehouse team. They had the Valentine's celebration today, and I saw the pictures. I didn't get a chance to go, but it looked like so much fun, as any of the events are. Also, kudos to the park maintenance, and some of these are time frame, kind of goes back and forth, on the preparation, the active response, and also like the community engagement during the storms in the last couple of weeks. And I know we have another thing coming, and I already see people prepping for that, so good job. Nativita Creek Park bathrooms, I'm not sure on the progress, the completion, but we did see them being worked on, and my kids are very excited. The Nativita Neighborhood Park, is there an opening date for that, or did it happen? Did I miss it? But we saw the new improvements, the new park. It looks amazing. I know that it was hard to keep people off as things were being installed, as you know, kids just see new slides and they want to get on it. This goes back to Christmas time or holiday time. And continuously, the Bread Box, I believe, does a great job with the teen nights. They had like a pozole dinner that I saw. Families come and attend. It was a great community event. There is a cleanup at El Dorado Park coming up in 2 weeks, 2/24. And then I love how just in making my rounds, and I know there's another meeting tomorrow for budget priorities, I love how people are really prioritizing, at least the feedback that I've seen, parks, community services on those boards. So that's all I have, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fong.
Just want to say everything's good, and whenever I see things that need attention in the city, I contact someone and go to the City Connect on the website, and that's what I tell a lot of our constituents in our city. But just want to say, wish everybody a happy Chinese New Year's, because we celebrate for 2 weeks, and there are Chinese people in Salinas, and they do celebrations everywhere in town, but it's all over the, you know, this community. So happy Chinese New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
And this is the year of the dragon.
Yes. And you got candy there for us?
I gave it out, and there's only 12, so it wasn't enough to go around. Sorry, maybe next time.
Beautiful box.
Yeah.
Thank you. For myself, I just want to thank everybody in the city of Salinas that they have been cleaning the creeks, preparing for the storms, and also I've seen some organization at Santa Rita Creek and Park. They are planting some native plants. They're from Watsonville, I believe. Can you tell me more about that, please?
So it's Sustainable Salinas is the overarching organization that is managing that community garden. They may have volunteers from Watsonville that come to support, but it is a local agency.
All right, yeah, I was wondering about that. And also they cleaned up some bushes that were attracting some unhoused people, so that was good. Thank you so much. And also, the Salinas Public Library has been doing a great job just making new programs, new things for kids to attend to, workshops. It's very, very fun for all the kids. My kid enjoys it a lot. Thank you. And that's all for me. So can I get a... Okay, one more thing. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Yes, to those watching and to all those here. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Oh, hold on. Do you have, sorry.
Welcome back now.
There'll be one next month.
Yes.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.